Hello, my name is Arnold, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel Pawn to Pro, where we'll take you from beginner level in chess to advanced level. Today we'll continue our series on basic chess concept, and we'll be discussing algebraic notation. Algebraic notation entails how players record or write down the moves in the game for future reference. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's dive right in. There are a number of methods chess players use to write down the moves of their games. The most widely used method is called algebraic notation. To describe a move in algebraic notation, the first thing you do is start by writing down the letter of the piece that is moving. King is represented by K, capital K or uppercase K. Q for queen. R is for rook. B is for bishop. N is for knight, not K. Remember that king is using the key already. And for the pawn, you don't write any letter. All these letters are in uppercase. Uppercase, they're all uppercase. B is for bishop, capital N. Remember that king is using the key already. So N for knight. When the pawn is moving, you don't write any letter. So the first step in understanding algebraic notation is to write down a letter of the piece. And the letters are written in uppercase or capital. The next step is to identify or write down the files. And files are represented from A to H. So after you write down the letter of the piece, you write down the file, or you identify the file, and then the rank. Ranks are from 1 to 8. So first thing, the letter for the piece, and then you identify the destination square, the destination square of the piece, and that destination square will be identified by the file, and the ranks. The file and the ranks. Here is how you write down the notation on the first few moves of a real game. So I want to take you through how to record or write down the moves of a typical game, the first few moves. In a chess game, white play first. So white begins by moving his pawn to e4. Since you don't use any letter for a pawn, you write down the destination square, e4. Black responds by moving his pawn to e5. So this is written as e5, e5. Next, white move his knight to f3, and black responds by moving his knight to c6. White move his knight to f3, and it is recorded as n to f3, and black responds to knight to f6, and is recorded as n to c6. White attacks by moving his bishop to b5. You write this as b5, and blacks bring up his f pawn by playing f5. You write this as f5, or record this as f5. So this is how you record these moves. Let's go over it one more time. The same opening or the same moves. White plays e4. Black responds e5. White plays his knight to f3, attacking the e5 pawn. Black responds by playing his knight to c6, defending his e5 pawn. White plays his bishop to b5, attacking the defender. And black play f5. So as you can see, this is how you record or write down your moves. Algebraic notation uses the letter X, to indicate a capture. So when white bishop takes the knight on c6, it will be written as bx c6, or read as bishop capture c6. So if bishop capture the knight on c6, you write bx c6. Bishop capture the knight on c6 is recorded as bx c6. When your pawn capture, you write down the file on which it starts. So when black pawn capture the bishop, you write down the file on which it starts and say d takes c6, or b takes c6. So D takes C6. That is how it's recorded or written down. Now, if white moves his pawn to D3, it has to be recorded. How is it recorded? It's recorded as D3, D3, D3. And then black responds by checking with his bishop. When a move places the other side in check, you put a plus sign, plus, or a cross, a plus sign at the end of the move. So this move, bishop to b4, check, will be written as bishop or b4 plus, b4 plus, b4 plus. This is how you record a check. A check is recorded by putting a plus sign at the end of a move. A check is written down by placing a plus sign at the end of the move. At the end of the move. Sometimes identical pieces can move to the same square. For example, we can move the thread to this king. White can block the thread to his king by moving out of his knight. Here, you define a piece which is moving. White can move this knight or this knight to stop this check. If both pieces start on the same file, you put the starting rank 1 to 8 on the same file. If both knights were on the same file, like one knight was on F3 and one knight was on F1, you start by placing the starting rank after the name of the piece. But since both knights are not on the same file, one is on the F file and one is on the B file, you do otherwise by putting the starting file after the name of the piece. So in this case, the two white knights, the knights on B1 and F3, are on different files. So if you are moving a knight on F3, you should write knight F to D2. If this knight is being moved, this is how you record it. If you use the knight on F to block the check, it will be recorded as NF to D2, NF D2, NF D2. If you remove this other knight, use the other knight, you record as NB D2, NB D2, NF D2. Next, we'll move to how do you write down a castle or castling. Castling king sign is written as castling king sign is written as. How do you write castle on king sign and how do you record castle on queen sign? If white castle on king sign, how do you record that? You record that by writing 0 O dash O O dash O. Castling on king sign is recorded as O dash O O dash O. That's how you record castling on king sign O dash O. How do you record castling on queen sign? How do you record castling on queen sign? Castling on queen sign is recorded or written down as O dash O dash O 3. While on king sign is 2 O dash O. Queen sign is O dash O dash O. O dash O dash O. When a pawn promotes to another piece, you write down the square and then the letter of the piece that is being promoted to. So if we move our pawn to h8, you write h8 equals queen. The q or h8 equal q. The q indicates queen. In this case, the pawn is promoted to a queen. If the pawn was promoting to a rook, you write h8 equal r. When a moves, when a move causes checkmate, you write down the hashtag after the move. When a move causes checkmate, you write down plus plus or hashtag. These days, you won't see plus plus in most recordings. Players are all moved to the hashtag checkmate recording. So if white bishop moves to e6, you record it at bishop e6 plus plus or bishop e6 hashtag. Sometimes a chess player will include commentary in his notation. Sometimes a chess player will include commentary in his notation. If you see an exclamation point after a move, it means that that move is considered a very good move. Whilst when you see the question mark after a move, means that that move is a questionable one. To solidify the concept of algebraic notation or recording and writing down our moves, let's go over some drills. Watch the move and then Write down the correct algebraic notation. How do you write down this algebraic notation? E4. That's correct. E4. Type in the correct algebraic notation for the following moves. How do you write down the algebraic notation of this following move? Queen to d8, checkmate. So you write queen d8 and then you place the hashtag at the end of the move. Queen d8 and then you place the hashtag. Write down the correct algebraic notation of the following moves. This is a castle on the king's side. So how do you write down this move in algebraic notation? You write this down O dash O. O dash O is castle on the king's side. O dash O. Write down the correct algebraic notation for this move. What would be your answer? Bishop G4, which is capital or uppercase B, small b, and then uppercase B, and then G4. Bishop to G4. Uppercase B, G, and then 4. Bishop G4. Write down the correct algebraic notation for the following moves. Knight capture E5. That's a correct algebraic notation. Knight capture E5. The capture is written as X. Knight X E5. Write down the correct algebraic notation for this move. Knight from B to D2. Watch this move and then write the correct algebraic notation. H8 queen. That is a correct algebraic notation for this move. Write down the correct algebraic notation for the following moves. bishop capture h3. Write down or recall the correct algebraic notation for this move. Rook c7, checkmate. For our last drill, watch the move and then write down the correct algebraic notation. So on this move, there was a queen sack castle, and it's recorded as uppercase O dash O dash O. There's a long castle or queen sack castle. Thanks for your time. Join me for our last topic on our persistent concept, we should be talking about tournament play, how to play in a tournament, or the various type of chess tournament that can be created. Like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time.